Happy Monday morning, Instagram friends. Well, I'm starting with the last house. That's my dog. This is where I currently live, and I'm going to next start with the first house I've ever lived in. Stay tuned. Well, I decided to start with my very first house I was born in Acton, Massachusetts, and there is documentation. Here's the house I lived in, Hosmer Street in Acton, Mass. Crazy. Well, I was gonna just post another picture of the next place I lived, but you know what? I decided I'm gonna take a drive, heading off to Ashland, Massachusetts, where I began first grade. Here we are, Instagram. This is Ashland, Massachusetts, Oak Street Apartments. Oh yeah, place is just so sexy. Lived here first grade with my mom, and she moved here because her best friend lived here. And it was a place where she felt comfortable because her best friend lived here, and that she also had a short commute to work. My mom was a nurse. And so I don't remember much about living here. I don't remember school or friends, but I do remember these apartments. So now the next couple of years are a little bit of a blur because I went from parents being divorced to both of them getting remarried, and there was like houses and moving and changing a lot. Okay, this is a little strange. I am here on Lake Life. Do you see the lake behind me? This is Fort Meadow in Marlboro, where I grew up. And one of the first houses I moved to with my mom and stepfather was this house over here. Okay, but after I lived in this house, I moved up to that house. That house is another story. But before I moved to that house, I moved back to Acton, to a blue ranch on a pretty street. Okay, so this people home at the other strange house that we lived in, it was an underground earth home built by my stepfather. Not kidding. Okay, so here, when my mom lived here, it wasn't as bad. But, believe it or not, there's a garden that was built up here on the roof. And she used to have beautiful, beautiful vegetables and fruit. So I don't want to be disrespectful, but that house right there on the water, that was the next house my mom and stepfather built. I never got to move into it. I was back in Acton once again. Well, most of the time we like to see beautiful, pretty things. The reality is not every house is perfect, and the houses that I used to live in are quite eye-opening when going back and looking at them. Are you starting to notice a pattern? One investment after another. This property, I bought a one-bedroom condo here for $35,000. Yeah, so here is another one. Marlboro, Mass. Bought this one dirt cheap. So this is a property in Marlboro that I owned, and it was so adorable. I put my heart and soul into it, and well, I actually bought this house for $69,000. It's on the market now, and wait till you see the inside. It's cute, but it's so small. Little house in Hudson has a cute little nookie room. So cute. Come check it out inside. I installed these kitchen cabinets. Thought I was gonna live here. Decided to just be a landlord at a very young age. This is one of my first rental properties. I bought this condo in Hudson, this townhouse. It was a mess. I ate macaroni and cheese. I had no furniture. Totally rehabbed it. I absolutely loved living here. This is another property in Marlboro. I will say that my husband actually owned it when we got married, and well, it was another one that ended up being taken over, and I will tell you, end result is sad.